Hey, this is the Idiot from Ginger and Idiot, and I'm gonna start a new. I'm gonna try to make more videos on this YouTube channel because right now it's just sort of a couple of live streams I made almost a year ago and some other shit that I don't like that's probably not that good. But this video, it's gonna be. I want to try to do some tutorial type things. And if you want to request anything, obviously you can put it in the comments. I'll probably do it because there aren't too many people that watch these videos. But in this one, I'm going to be showing you how to make your score look really professional, like almost to the extent of this. You can customize it however you want, obviously in Musescore because it's Musescore. I'm going to name this. I'm going to start out with concert band. And this YouTube video will just have concert band. I could do jazz band and marching band too. I'll show you guys how to do that later if you want me to. This is just how to make your score look good, though. Also, just set up a general template for it. Okay, so we're probably not going to be needing all instruments right now, just common instruments, unless you guys got some exception to your thing. Now, a lot of scores have piccolo parts, but some don't. For example, this one has a piccolo part. Well, there are some scores that don't. I'm just going to add it, and usually flutes go into the two separate staffs because they have two flute parts, and usually one oboe. Sometimes they split it. Actually, some Persona Galante stuff like this right here has two oboe parts, but it's on the same staff, so I'm just going to add on an oboe part. I'm probably just going to use one. 3 clarinet parts, and a bass clarinet. Then a bassoon. This Persona, usually it's one bassoon, but this Persona Galante song has 2 bassoons on the same staff. And usually people don't have soprano saxophone, but there are some, I know Pershire Majesty by Samuel Hayes. There's some exceptions to the songs that have soprano, but I don't really like the sound of soprano. There's 2 altos, but they're on the same staff usually. Tenor and baritone sax. Not all songs have baritone saxes, but usually everything past grade 2 more or less generally does. Brass. I don't know why they have horn and F above this, but usually B flat trumpet goes first. And depending on what you want, sometimes people have 3 separate trumpet parts, but generally people don't do that. Most of the time people do 3 trumpet parts usually. 1 trumpet part on the top and 2 trumpet parts at the bottom, or 2 trumpet parts at the top, 1 trumpet part at the bottom. This score has 2 trumpet parts at the bottom, 1 at the top. And then we got, now trombone, it can vary a lot. Actually next is horn. I don't know why I went to trombone, because they have them on top of trumpets for some reason. Horns are underneath the trumpets. And then we got trombones. Okay, so horns actually, I don't know why I didn't say this before. There's 4 horns. You should know this by now if you want to make good scores, but there's usually 4 horns on 2 separate staffs. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then trombones, there's usually 3 trombones, but a lot of the times they'll have the bass trombone on the 3rd trombone, but it'll be an optional bass trombone part. I'm pretty sure this is just a regular trombone, yeah. I'll make mine bass trombone. Then euphonium, tuba, and make sure it's regular tuba, not B flat tuba, unless you got some weird exception. Okay. After that, people usually put mallet percussion. Well, okay, so a lot of people in Musescore, pretty much next to everybody, puts it as xylophone, marimba, whatever you have. But on actual professional scores, they write it as mallet percussion, and they write in on the thing what you want it to be. So usually timpani goes either at the bottom or above the mallet percussion, but most often it's at the bottom. So I'm going to put in glockenspiel and vibraphone and marimba. But I'm going to make some changes to these later. And I'm going to take out one of these staffs. And you'll see why. Unpitched percussion. Usually here's what you usually need to do. So in normal scores, you got regular percussion parts, but in Musescore we got all of it. So we add 2 drum sets. You'll see why once I finish this. This is the bare backbone of everything, pretty much. You never actually want to do just this and not change it later. We're not going to have any vocals because this is a concert band. No keyboards. You might want a piano if it's specialized, or there's like feature instruments. No pluck strings, no regular strings. I could do an orchestra. I'm probably going to do an orchestra one later too. And then obviously the timpani. Alright, so let's go next. Default concert, next, finish. Okay, so right now it looks really bland. Also, the pages are way too small. So, what you're going to want to do, first go to Style General. Actually, not Style General. Layout Page Settings. And then you're going to just keep on going up. I'm just going to like change this to, depending on your number of instruments, it's going to be different. I'm not sure if that's enough. No, it's not enough. Just a little bit more, because we just need to see one more timpani. Apply. No, a little bit more. Maybe 525 for this. If you have the same thing, it should be the same. But now the pages look really thin. And normal 8.5 by 11 pages aren't going to be that thin, that tall. So what we're going to want to do is, I always go there, layout page settings. We take the height. I'm just going to go to Wolfram Alpha because I don't want to do math right now. But you take the, what you want to do is you want to take 8.5 divided by 11 equals, and then you're going to take what is it? Okay, so you're going to take x divided by, and then the number you put in here, so for me it's 525. You're going to get equals, and it's going to simplify it for you, because I'm too lazy to do it myself. X equals about 405.6. So we enter in here 405.6. This is because we just want to make it the same ratio as a normal 8.5 piece of paper, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, if you actually wanted to print this out later. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add in brackets. So here's how brackets work. Nobody ever gets these right, but there's a bit of discrepancy over what you do with brackets, but here's what people normally do. When you have this type of bracket right here, a lot of the times people just take it across the entire woodwind section, or down to the bassoon, and then put the saxes in their own thing here. Let's see what Afterlife does. Afterlife puts it across all of the woodwinds. But here's the thing, when you have this, for some reason Musescore doesn't do this for you, but whenever you have this square bracket type thing, or not, I think it's just called the bracket, this one might be the square bracket, yeah. Whenever you have that, you have to take this measure line, right? And you have to take it, double click it, and bring it down to the same height as that. So the line will always be the same as the square bracket that is the other part of it. Next, we're going to have this bracket right here, right? It's called the square bracket. You put it across when instruments are the same instrument, but there's multiple parts for it, unless there's only one staff, like alto sax. So we're going to do that for clarinets. And then a lot of people put a bracket for the trumpets on, then do this. And then a bracket for the horns, and do the same thing. I think that's what Afterlife does. Yeah, that's what Afterlife does, and then the trombones and the low brass are the same too. We're going to get a tuba in there. Then we get the bracket in. And then after that we go, so we're going to go change all the names now, because the names are totally wrong. also, I don't know why I forgot. We need to get this square bracket in. Usually timpani's on something. Sometimes people do this. Sometimes people don't. He put it on the same bracket actually for this one. But I'm just going to be doing this. Because sometimes people separate it, sometimes people don't. Depends on the part, usually. And then you do that? Okay. Now let's change the name. Oh, also, let's put a square bracket around these two drum sets and the mallet percussion. Now, you're saying these aren't different instruments. Well, right now, these aren't the same instruments. But right now they aren't, but they're going to be soon because we're going to change it to be like mallet percussion type stuff. So we're going to change the names. Now what we want, right, is we're going to change this name by right-clicking it, click Staff Properties. Change the name to 2. Just 2. You'll see why in a bit. And then the short instrument name you'll change to 2. You press Apply and OK. Or just OK, I think actually it probably works too. Just press Control B until you get enough bars to go across to the next page. If you haven't got that already. Now do that for this too. The flute 1, 2. And what you're going to want to do, this is a little bit complicated, but you press Enter like 2 or 3 times. You'll have to experiment a little bit by yourself. Then you type in 1. Then you type Enter like once or twice. Then you type in flute. Then you press space a few times. I would suggest like 8 times. Like there. Now when you press Apply, it looks like this, and it looks really professional. So if you want, you can like adjust this to be like, so the flute is actually in the center. And let's change this too. So what you're going to want to do is about the same thing, but type in, actually change this to flutes instead of flute. Okay, change this to 1, add some enters before it too. Enter a couple times. FLS dot. Oh, FLS dot is usually what people put. I think that's what he put here. Yeah, he did that. And then you press Apply and OK. Oh, and it should be. Oh yeah, I forgot to add the spaces after FLS. That's probably wondering why that you need spaces here, because if you didn't, this name would be all the way over here. Let's add a couple more lines because that's making me feel weird. Now, generally when you have a name out like this, everything else is too, even if it isn't part of it. So we're going to add spaces like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's what I did. I do 8 and 4 usually, like here too. Now oboe, if you want, you can type in oboe, or like this. If you have 2 parts, which is totally optional. Usually people don't actually type in 1, 2, and then generally speaking, people like bassoons 1 and 2, oboes 1 and 2. It's hard to do that for this because you can't have text between these two right here. So you can't like, it's hard to, if you wanted to, you could do oboes and then press space a bunch of times, I guess, and do that, but they're kind of separated. I'm just going to do one oboe part. You're probably going to want to too, because Musescore, you can't really do that on Musescore. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Then you just type in oboes. So, also we need to add the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be the oboes. Oh, but I might just have it to press save. B flat clarinet. Change this to actually change second and third first, because actually when there's 3 parts, we're going to change the first. I forgot about that. Just 1, 1, apply OK. And the third, now you do 1 and then 1, or 3 and 3, apply OK. And we did the second last because we're going to use this for the names. don't delete this thing because you can't get this flat without looking on Google, like flat symbol or something like that. So you type in B flat clarinets and then space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then type in 2. And B flat CLS usually for multiple clarinets, and then 1, 2, 3, 2. Now you got the clarinets, and they work over here too. Cool. Bass clarinet, just add spaces. Nice. And then bassoons. There could be 2 bassoons. Usually people don't do that. And then alto sax is usually you always pretty much have 2 parts. So 1 and 2. And then 1 and 2, like that. Now, what you could do, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know. It's hard to say because you could press Control T right here, right? Type in altos, saxophones, like that, and then just move it across like this. By the way, when you hold Control and drag it, it can only move left and right. When you hold Shift and drag it, it can only move up and down. So you can like line it up with bassoon or whatever up here, and drag it down. But the thing about doing this is that it won't do it for the rest of the pages. So also it might be a different font, but usually doesn't matter that much. So what I generally do is I do it for the first page only, and then I just, for the part, I just do staff properties, altos, because people don't understand what you're talking about. Now for the tenor saxophone and the baritone saxophone, let's just add the spaces. Also, we're going to need a bit of extra space. Actually, no, usually people, like in Rossano Galante put it, he puts enter, the saxophone's on a different line. So tenor saxophone, just do that. T sax is fine. And then, oh yeah, the spaces. You're going to have to do spaces for both lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Put baritone, saxophone on their own lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And then the trumpet parts, we do the same thing that we did to the flute part, where we just change second trumpet to 2. Apply OK. Then first trumpet, to enter a couple times. 1, enter twice. I need to copy this because I can't get a flat side. Trumpets. And then 8 spaces. Then we do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, I guess. 1, enter, enter. B flat, T, P, T, S usually is what people do. And apply OK. That seems about, I forgot the spaces over here. Seems good. Oh, and I forgot to, see, it's really obvious when you mess up because it's like, it's different than everything else. Press 4 spaces there. Now, looks like we got everything good so far. And the horn and F, we usually, what I usually do is change horn F staff properties, change this to 3, 4, this 2, apply OK, then change this. This sounds a little more complicated. It might be a bit more fine tuning, but you have to press enter once about, and then 1, 2, maybe do enter twice here, maybe once, I don't know. Horn in F, some people put F horn, or we're gonna put F horns because there's multiple. So let's put F horns 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just apply that real quick. See if it's all good. See, we got this is a little too low and that's a little high. So let's remove this space right here. Maybe I'll fix it. Seems about right. We won't get any thing too much above the staff for third and fourth, so we can move that up a little bit. But it looks a little unnatural. I think that seems about good. I can change that for this over here too. So press enter. Yeah, I think it could just be the same as this. Just change the name and change the spaces after it. So just change this entirely. So I can't remember what people put, but I'm pretty sure it's just F horns, right? Oh, he just put horns. Sometimes I think sometimes people do F horns, but horns. I think he puts R in there. I'm not sure though. Oh no, it's just HNS. I'll just put it as HRNS because it doesn't really matter too much. Oh yeah, and the spaces. There we go. Now the trombones, a lot of the time for a third trombone, they put 3/BTB, or not BTB, bass trombone. So what we're gonna do, change this to 1 only. Okay, change this to 2. Wait, no, actually, trombones. 7 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the number 2. The TBNS. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. -1 actually, because we're gonna put 2 there. Now it looks about good. And then what we do for the third one usually is we type in 3/enter bass trombone. So I'm probably just gonna put the beat there. But here's the thing: a lot of people don't use the bass trombone; they just use the third trombone. Because he did that in Afterlife here. There aren't actually too many songs that use bass trombone in concert band. So I'm just gonna change this to a regular 3, just for simplicity's sake. Just keep it simple. Just put this in YouTube Music, I guess. Then euphonium, just add 8 spaces. Then 4. There's not much we can do there. It's only one part. Tuba, 8 spaces. 4 over here. There we go. Now, this shouldn't matter too much, but I never really understood. They put it so they're all aligned to the left, you see here. So it's like they're aligned to the left, but in here, it's hard for us to do that, so I'm gonna align them to the right. Bit of discrepancy, but it doesn't matter too much. It's just a tiny little thing. I think we're all good on the right hand side too. I haven't checked that in a while. Seems like horns are a bit too in. No, never mind, I think they're good. Now we're gonna do the mallet percussion. So right click the glockenspiel, and now we're gonna type in mallet percussion, and then mallet perc. Or usually, sometimes if they put M perc, I'm pretty sure. MLT perc. MLT dot perc dot and then 1. So usually what people do is they add underneath like what mallet instrument you're gonna have. So obviously we're gonna have a glockenspiel somewhere here. I think that's how you spell it. comma, whatever. I don't know. We could have Glock, Xylo, vibraphone. You know what? I think we should probably just have 2 mallet percussion parts because I can't think of that many mallets. So, to get rid of the marimba then. And now we're gonna have to fix it. Actually, no, it's alright. Mallet percussion 1. We could just have glockenspiel. Xylophone. Generally, this is a little smaller in the text. Where is it? So we can change. I'm not sure. Oh, wait. So text style. We can't change the name itself, so I think we might have to change it. Keep it like that. Hang on. I totally forgot what I did for my regular template. What did I do? I just kept it as the regular thing. So yeah, just keep it like this. If you find a way, you can also just make this smaller, but I don't know if that's possible. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, so then we're gonna take this, do the same thing with mallet percussion 2. You usually don't have the names of the mallet percussion instruments on the other pages too. Also, mallet percussion 2. Press enter, you type in, well, I'm going to type in vibraphone, comma, marimba. Actually, usually, I don't know why I put that down here, but usually marimbas and vibes go on top. So I'm going to change these two. Also, I forgot to space it over a bit. Don't know how we fit that in there. Barely did. Looks like mallet percussion 1, vibraphone, marimba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just gotta do like that thing. We could put vibraphone and marimba on a different line, like this, and then enter once or twice. So you just have to sort of experiment with it a bit, like that, I guess. Maybe a little bit more on marimba. I don't know. It's not like set in stone what you do. I'm just gonna take marimba and put it on its own line, or same line as vibes. Like that. That should be fine. Then vibraphone is gonna be mallet percussion 2, xylophone, glockenspiel, 8 spaces, mlt dot perc 2. That seems good. Maybe bring this down a little bit because it could get pretty high and the names are a bit clumped. And I think there's a space between here that shouldn't be here. Maybe we could do that, yeah. And then staff properties, we could add a space here too. Seems good. Okay, now drum set we're gonna rename to percussion. It's just percussion, like right here is percussion. But here's the thing. Percussion 1, perc 1, here's the thing. This is a drum set, so there's not going to be everything that percussion normally has. Oh yeah, and there's spaces. But I'll show you how to compensate for that in a bit. You can actually, there's a way to do it. I'll show you that in a second. Like that, and then timpani, just make it over. Like that. Okay, so we got it. It's looking pretty fancy right now. There are a couple more things we need to do. It's not just the template, it's a couple other things too. Let's say we want a mark tree on the percussion. You can't do that because this is a normal drum set. Drum set doesn't have mark tree, it just has just like bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat type stuff. Let's say we want a mark tree. You're going to go to the flute, put it in a C, and if you're in a key signature that's a C sharp, make sure it's a C natural. Control X to cut it. Go back down to the percussion. It doesn't have to be on the flute. Anything that can play a C, and that specific C too. I think it's like a C 6. Not sure. Just 2 lines above the regular treble clef staff. And go to percussion. Control V. That's your mark tree. There's a couple other things too you can do. I kept it on a notepad of all the stuff that I found interesting, but you just have to like experiment and go through all the notes. I went chromatically all the way through the notes, and there was nothing particularly that much more interesting besides, I think on tuba if you do E flat, maybe, I think it's down here. It's this cool bass drum sound that's really quiet that I haven't really heard before, but there's nothing much else that you can find that's not on the bass drum, or not on the percussion thing. And if it is, it's probably not too essential. Just the mark tree is the one big thing that took me way too long to figure out how to actually put a mark tree on this percussion part. Also, we're going to put probably like a bass drum, snare drums type stuff here. So bass, drum, I don't know, snare, drum, mark tree. Put a enter here, I guess. Oh, whoops. And then I don't know, what should we put here? Need a couple spaces. Let's put toms, hi-hat, the hyphen, bongos. Let's see if that's good. And then let's put commas, enter, let's have one more thing, I don't know, triangle. That's always nice to have. I think I have it written down on my phone somewhere, what the triangle actually was. I can't remember if I wrote it down or not. In my notepad maybe here. Yeah, I don't think I didn't write down what a triangle was. I'm not sure if you can have a triangle here, if it's already there. But there's no, that's something else. It's a red symbol. I don't think triangles in here. But you can compensate. Usually, anyway, mark trees is right here, or right here. But it doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, we got our nice template looking here. Now what we want to do is put in some measure numbers. But when you put a regular measure number, it looks really crappy and there's like rounded edges and stuff. Like you type in, here's one, here, and I'll just write I'll just write a whole, like, 4 notes. Now I'm going to go to measure 5, right? 5. This measure number looks really terrible. Here's a way you can fix it. Make it look actual professional. Change the border radius to 0 and this to 10.10. And you press OK. It looks actually like what you would expect it to look like. It looks like an actual measure number. Now, the concert band template for YouTube title thing doesn't look that good. Usually it looks like this, and there's like, looks all nice. You can change that yourself. I'm sure you know how to do that, but if you don't, you can just right click here, click add, subtitle, enter a fancy subtitle here, and you can have full score on the left here. And then let's see what else. You can have a picture if you want. Composer, it's nice sometimes when you have, if you're doing an arrangement, what you would usually write is words and music by Donald Trump or whoever wrote it, or write whatever you write here, like music by or whatever, and you press enter and arranged by, and then you type in your name. But a lot of the times what people do is they take everything and make it bold. Ooh. Oh dang it. Take everything, make it bold, except for your name for some reason. I don't know, that's something that, and also make it italicized. I noticed some people do that. Some people, a lot of times people do this. It's just whatever looks nice and neat and fancy. And this should be about good. There's some other things you can do. And generally, you're gonna have to look at a score to see how percussion works, because percussion, the thing about it is, there's like stuff that people don't do that you kind of need to do if you want it to be an actual percussion group. I don't know why that's so far down, but like when you make a snare drum, right? Let's just do 1 and 2 and 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. You're not done. You have to type in. You can do that by selecting and pressing X back there. Select the first note, type in snare drum. Just like small things like that you're gonna have to learn just through experience, I guess. There's not really much I can tell you to learn small things like that. But you got the template now. It looks all nice. And a lot of times people put like do suspended symbol to make the person like, oh, I need to go to the suspended symbol now because we're gonna do that in a little bit. And then there's a suspended symbol here. Or let's see, is there any more? I can't find any, but you know what I mean. Like do mark tree and then this mark tree. There's not much else I can really help you out with here, though. I'm gonna move on to the jazz band video now, and I'm gonna plan on uploading all of them at the same time: the jazz band, the concert band, and the orchestra. But I might do them at separate times. I'm thinking probably concert band and jazz band are going out at the same time, definitely. Orchestra might come a little later. So here's our concert band template, and I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you learned something out of this, maybe you didn't, but you probably did, let's be honest. And that's gonna conclude it for this. I'm sure this is a really long video. I don't have a timer or anything. I don't really care. You probably got what you wanted out of this if you've made it this far. And bye.